What's up, everybody? This is Rob Barrington here once again for the weekday challenge. We're going to play 10 boards against the robots this week, starting today, which is Monday. We're going to play 2 boards every day. We're going to try to win. It's a heads up challenge, so it's just us against the robots. We're playing match points this week, which is the scoring you guys are most familiar with. It's the scoring you're going to play at the club. The difference you'll see, and I know I've discussed this before, but it's worth reminding you guys, is in a club game or in a tournament of any kind, when you're playing match points, you're being compared against multiple instances of that board being played, right? In this, it's just 1 versus 1, right? So we're kind of going to get a win versus a loss here. But it's still the same concept. We're going to get a percentage score. This one, we're not going to see any weird like 66%. It's going to be 150 or 0 on each of these boards. And that's good and bad, right? So we can have a total disaster, like go minus 1400 and still do fine because that's only one result. Whereas imps wise, that would be derailing our entire effort. Another thing, guys, these are instructional videos, right? So I'm trying to teach you guys as I go along. I go relatively quickly and I'm definitely going to miss some stuff. So if you are looking for, like, no mistake bridge, by the way, you're never going to find it, but this certainly isn't the place to be looking for it. Last week I had a perfect squeeze that I executed and I didn't even recognize it because I wasn't even looking at my left-hand opponent's cards, but you guys caught me off in the chat. I appreciate that. But just recognize, you're not necessarily going to see perfect bridge here, and I hope you guys realize that that's just part of the game as well. But especially when we're trying to speak, all of us, no matter who you see on a YouTube channel, it's a tough process to kind of get everything right and to be talking about different things as you go. So just bear with us, and I had some fun in the chat with you guys on the second episode of last week where that squeeze was just so perfect and I didn't even see any cards on my left. It was like I had a blinder on, like a racehorse. But let's start off again this week. Again, match points, board number 1. Here is our hand, and nothing fancy, right? We're just going to open 1 diamond, and we see our partner bid a spade. And this is a time where, we're not going to pass this ever. But in a robot-y sense, right, you sometimes might be passing this to try for a best score. Here, we're just going to bid 1 no trump. And now partner bids 2 diamonds. We're kind of happy about this. We're just going to sit back and play 2 diamonds. Match points is interesting because it's more about precision than anything else, right? So as precise as we can be to try to get our best score is what we want to do. Sometimes we're going to not be in the right spot, but all we can do is the best we can with what we have. And here it looks like we arrived in a pretty reasonable place, right? We don't really want to be anywhere else. We get to play in a part score in diamonds. We're not stuck in no trump. Spades doesn't look like it would be too terrible, but I guess that will depend on how these cards shake out. So take a second, guys. Look at this hand, maybe make a plan or two, and I will be with you in a second. And once again, let me remind you, when we are doing these weekday challenges, these are pre-recorded. So if you need time, just pause the video, take a moment, make your choices, and then come back and press play. You can take as much time or as little time as you like. I'm going to take just a bit of time and come right back to you. So this one looks like we can kind of point to a very common thing that's going on and that we've talked about quite a bit. We have a short side suit, hearts, and what we now know is an even number of diamonds will eventually become our short trump suit. The moment we trump in that hand, we're going to want to take as many roughs as possible. And we don't want to draw all the trump because we might need more than just a diamond or 2 in dummy to rough all the hearts we have. So that's where I would be thinking immediately about this hand. I wouldn't really duck this club. I just fear too many weird stuff with too many weird things happening. And I'm just going to play the king of hearts, right? It's obvious to everybody. That's the dummy, folks, right? They can see it's singleton king. You don't gain anything by leading towards that because they can all kind of see what's about to happen. Here, it looks like they might be trying to set up a club ruff. But no, see, they have wisened up. They've gotten to the business of drawing some trump. We're still going to take a finesse here. We're okay if they draw a couple rounds of trump because we might be able to fall back on that spade position. Hopping up with the ace here is giving them a trick with the king if it's to the east here. And honestly, with the king in the east player's hand, they would still probably lead a diamond unless it was king small. So here, this is just a spot where we expect a diamond to be fired back here. Ooh, good, a club. We'll take that. Although that's not ideal for us, really. We want to do this. And now, take a second. What do you want to do now? All right, so they've drawn one round of trump, basically. Make your choice from this point forward. What would you do with this end? Again, we're only in 2 diamonds, right? So we're just trying to scrape together as many tricks as we can. And the problem with continuing to cross rough this, which is what a lot of you might be thinking right now, like, hey, let's rough that club with the queen, let's rough a heart. You know, what can they be doing while you're doing that? You know, if you're getting, and also you're tapping yourself on both sides of the table, right? You're drawing trump, not necessarily, you know, exactly what you want to do before maybe you set up a trick in this suit, right? So usually, in general rule, if you're thinking of cross roughing at all, right, the best general rule is cash your side suit winners first, or as many as you can before you start the process of doing that. And here, that's kind of what we're doing. Right? And now we can get to the business of maybe roughing another heart. Tempted to cash the queen of spades, by the way, right here. It is pretty tempting. I'm going to do it. Let's see if they're breaking 3-3. That's a nice piece of luck. And now maybe we get, you know, the dream scenario here. Nah, that looks like they're going to rough this. Yeah, okay. All right, so it looks like we took 8 tricks here. Match point's pretty good, right? I don't know if we're going to do anything terribly different on this hand, or if the robot is either. Let's take a look at the result real quick just to see how board 1 is going to fare for us. Partner did a really good job of getting us out of a bad no trump contract. On a Hartley, we might have actually scored the king of hearts, but like what are our other tricks before they get to establish quite a few of theirs, right? They can take heart tricks and club tricks. And look at those kings, both bad for us, right? The king of diamonds and the king of spades, really, really unfortunate positions. But think about this, and again, I'm going to come back to this. This is great for you team players as well. If you're trying to gauge what's going on at the other table in certain results, and let's be fair, if you're playing a team event and you're doing it, it means you must have some spare time available, because it's not easy to, you know, be thinking about anything with bridge. But you know, when you get a little bit better, and or you have a little bit of time after the match to gauge your scores, just look at this and say, what would they do at the other table? Well, especially because it's a robot. It looks like the same thing, unless they might do something. Maybe they raise the 2 spades with this hand, which seems weird when you're more balanced in this way. If I were unbalanced, I would be more likely to be bidding 2 spades with this hand. So here, playing 2 diamonds, not the worst. And we'll see how well the robot did. I don't know, maybe we could have done better. But we'll jump to board number 2 here. And we'll see this beautiful, shapely hand, 16 count, 2-2 in the majors. Kind of ugly. So here's my rule. First of all, this is not a balanced hand. So you've seen us open 1 no trump with 6-card suits. Never 6-card majors unless we're doing something super weird. But sometimes with the 6-card minor. Here, look at these major suits. These are 2 worthless doubletons. And this is one rule that you've heard before. Don't open a no trump with 2 doubletons. Maybe you've heard that. I am not a huge fan of that rule as it's said, as it was just said. Here's the way I like to modify it. Don't open 1 no trump with 2 worthless doubletons. And these are worthless doubletons, and they just happen to be in the suits that the opponents are so much more likely to be leading against no trump contracts. So in my opinion, it would be kind of a faux pas to open a no trump here. So I'm just going to open a club, and we'll see what we get to rebid on the way back. Okay, so there's a club, a heart, a spade. Now we get to make our bid. So I want you to make your bid at home, and don't forget you can pause this video and take a moment to do that. I'm going to make it about 3 seconds here. And this is a weird one. It's between ranges. It's not the best 16 count, but that suit is pretty amazing. I don't want to just bid 2 clubs here, but let's just take a look at what the upper limit of that would be. And it's like 12 to 16 or 11 to 15, it's saying here. I like to kind of, with this good of a suit, and almost all my cards working for me. Like the Jack of Hearts isn't necessarily not working for me anymore, because that is my partner's suit as well. The other thing I can show my partner here is that I don't have 3 hearts, right? If I have 3 hearts, I would always make a support double here. So I'm going to show a good hand with a good suit. I love the quality of this suit. If it was a little less, I would be more apt to bid 2 clubs. And partner just floats that out with their 6 count. Okay, great. Looks like no trump might not have been too bad if the cards are going well for us, which I guess we'll hope they are not. So we're just going to follow suit here. King of Hearts from lefty. The robot plays king from ace king, for those of you that may not know. So that is either that or just some sort of weird robot lead without that. So here, when they lead the jack of spades, first thing, let's just take a look at the auction. Always remember you can go back and see what they did on us at any point during any of these hands. And here we see just right hand opponent overcalled one spade. So a couple things. We expect them to not only have 5 of them at least, but also the ace and the queen, it looks like, because this jack of spades is being led. I like playing low here just in case they have 6 of them to my right, and now West is going to have to figure out what to do, and maybe they fire a diamond towards our ace queen. What I would expect, though, is here, now that I expect the ace king of hearts to be in my left-hand opponent's hand, right? Ace king of hearts is here. My person here overcalled one spade. So what do they have? Well, like discussed, they have the ace queen of spades, it looks like, right? The jack is a clear indication that the queen isn't there, and we would be shocked if righty overcalled with a suit that bad, right? And that this person's leading away from their ace, right? But with the ace king of hearts being here, what does that mean about East's hand? Well, I would say that king of diamonds is very likely in this hand, unless for some reason we find out that king of hearts wasn't from ace king, which would shock me. Here, this is kind of what we talk about as far as putting people on hands. We're putting right hand opponent on a pretty likely holding, like a 10 count or a 9 count where they've overcalled at the 1 level. You know, they may not have this, but this is just what we're supposed to be thinking about as we're going around the table. So let's just take a second here. If this is a doubleton, it's going to go jack. We're going to play low, and then they're going to fire another one. Maybe it's the 9. Maybe we get a little read on this. But either way, we're not going to surrender the king because we kind of know the result. And maybe this just blocks here if righty has 6 spades. So we'll play low, and we'll see. Okay. So now it's not even we're rooting for the 9 there. Unfortunately, it's not even the 9. It's the 3. So we're just going to do this, force out that queen. And now they're stuck, right? They can't, they can do one of 2 things. They can do this, which is probably their best play, right? Leading towards that king. But we can counter with this, right? Pitching a loser that we know is a loser. And then also just having them rough in that spot. Ooh, nice. So now they're setting up a trick for us. This does not matter, by the way. Unfortunately, maybe, let's see. No, we don't have any interest to that side. So we'll just draw some trump, and we will eventually just take a diamond finesse. We know we just have to draw 2 rounds of trump now because lefty already roughed a spade. So now we'll play a diamond to the queen. Boom, boom. Expected that to win. Not shocked that it did based on what we put our opponent on. And let's claim city this so I don't misclick in my own tournament. And let's take a look. There's that hand. All right, so let's take a peek at our result screen here. That's the hand we put them on, basically, on the opening lead. Pretty fun if you just take a moment to think about what's doing around the table. A lot of times you can figure out what's going on and what you expect to be happening here. Looks like, yeah, if they cash the ace king of hearts and then they made the same spade plays they made, they get an extra trick, I believe, right? Because now they get 2 hearts. They get 2 spades. And, well, no, sorry. We just chop up the same number of tricks, basically. Because we gave up the rough and pitched a heart, right? So this is a spot where we should just be taking plus 110 on this auction. Interesting to see what will happen if the robot chose to bid 2 clubs with our hand. Would there be any other interference? It doesn't look like it, right? It looks like we probably would have gotten to play 2 clubs. But that's the first 2 boards of our weekday challenge, guys. So Monday is in the books. We have 8 boards left to go. Match points as we go forward. So maybe we'll sidestep some disasters if they occur in the next couple of hands. And here is our next decision. Looks like this one's going to be a pretty simple opening bid, but we'll see where we get on the way back. But we'll start this tomorrow, which is Tuesday, in our weekday challenge, and we will go for victory, guys. Thanks a lot for joining, and I'll either see you in class on bridgelesson.com or at the tables as well. Have the weekend game coming up on BridgeBase this week, so check out the site for details on that, guys. Thanks so much, and I will see you next time. Take care.